not a terrorist group. Why is your government supporting Islamo-nationalism? What? Excuse me. What are you doing?
You're under arrest for assault.
Sir,
why are you pushing me? You're under arrest for assault. You're under arrest for assault.
What are you talking about?
Say this: the issue I had with this whole with this incident was people seeing personalities. There's there's a lot of people who don't like David Menzies, don't like what he's about, doesn't like his form of journalism, who said, "Nah, he deserves it." And there's others who obviously are who love Rebel News a lot, love what David Menzies does, and so this is disgusting and an overreach of power. I want to speak to both those sides and just say it doesn't matter who it is. He is a journalist, whether you like his form of journalism and how he covers things or not. If you like Rebel News or not, it doesn't really matter. Look at this from an objective perspective. A journalist was trying to question someone in government, and they had an RCMP officer stand in their way, manufacture him getting hit, and then turn around and arrested the journalist for assaulting an officer. I've never seen this in my time watching and understanding politics in this country. Never seen it happen here. This would never happen during the Chrétien days. Wouldn't happen during the Martin days. Wouldn't happen during the Harper days. I don't know what's going on, but this is absolutely crazy. And the fact that people are defending it is even more concerning to me.
Well, that's exactly what I thought, because I looked at this and I went, I don't like Rebel News. I don't read their stuff. I think it's completely biased, and half the time I think that it's made up. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter they don't like Rebel News, and it doesn't matter they don't like that journalist, because what does matter is that the fact that he did not assault a police officer and could not question an elected official, which we have the right to because we pay their salaries. That's the big thing that I want to always harp on, is the fact that the government doesn't have its own money. We provide the government with money. We provide their salaries. They should answer to questions that are asked of them. Whether or not she wants to answer while she's walking down the street, whatever. That his approach. Do I love his approach? No, probably not. But that doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that when you involve the RCMP in this, then it becomes a serious issue. Because then what happens if you get a government that is even more extreme than Trudeau? What happens if you get that government and then they start having RCMP officers bump into people? Because we've set a precedent now that you can arrest journalists by just bumping into them on the sidewalk. That is not assault. There was no intent. There was no action of assault. If that's the case, half the people walking down Spring Garden right now are assaulting each other because it's not wide enough and you're hitting people and giving shoulders. It's just not assault. And obviously it wasn't, because the charges didn't stand. They dropped the charges because they realized it was ridiculous. And all it was a move to shut down conversation. And I think it backfired on them, because now the country is watching this going, oh, wow, that is wild. I can't believe that happened. And they actually asked Chrystia Freeland about that later. And then when she was asked about that, she just said, I do not get involved with matters of the RCMP, and I don't think politicians should get involved in matters of the RCMP, so therefore that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, thanks for nothing. The big nothing sandwich again.
Absolutely. Her exact quote was, politicians have no role in police decisions. Really? Tell me, what was your role in the 2022 February? You seem to have a role in police decisions then, my friend. And you defended those decisions. Interesting. So when it matters, when it conveniences them, they have no role in these matters. Meanwhile, you could see, from my perspective, this is now just speaking just as an opinion on this. She knew what she was doing.
Oh, yeah.
She's she looked ahead, she smiled. You saw the smile, you saw the snicker, and she's like, all right, you send a pic from me, come roll off, and boom. And then you get what you get right here, right? And so I think what you said is spot on. It's a concerning precedent. We cannot allow it to stand. We cannot justify it. We should not be the ones to explain this away. This is wrong on all levels. And I would never, it can't be in our politics whatsoever. It should not, it shouldn't even be a thing. But hey, when we're taking cues off of leadership in China and how they do things, well, I get that's what you get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny when you said justify it. I was like, justify it. There's been many things that have been justified, I feel like, because even just listening, you already mentioned it, the people that were defending this, that is what's most concerning, because I expect this out of our current government, out of this current regime. I expect that fully. If they could get away with more, they probably would. They probably are, and we just don't know about it yet. We'll find about it after this government is out of power, the full breadth of what we were lied about and what happened. The rest of the world is looking at Canada right now going, you guys don't even know what you don't know because you're not even seeing it, and we are. That concerns me. But the biggest concern I have is the fact that we have people, much like when the Nazi was brought into Parliament, and people were going, oh, well, there's different levels of Nazi. And I'm like, no, there's not. There really is not. Like the pretzeling that happens with people's morality, that's what's concerning to me. And that's what kind of just, it makes me sad, makes me concerned, and then makes me angry. And then I have to like pull myself back and go, okay, locus of control again. What is in my control here? And the people around me are. And so I have these conversations with friends who are very left leaning, who are like, oh, well, it's not that big a deal. I'm like, okay, I love you a lot. Why do you think it's not a big deal? And then trying to have those conversations in a really caring and really thoughtful way. And that is a lot of work sometimes.